Welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm Mar, and today we're going to beat Chapter 15 on hard mode.
Gotta be careful. No telling what's gonna collapse or when.
That could be. Moving. Also,
Where did Daddy go? Don't worry.
how did all these people get up here?
Be okay. Are
These
you
the people
hurt?
who survived the it falling part.
Can you stand?
Presumably that's where these people came from. They survived the it falling part. Because there's not really another way here.
You guys,
A friend of ours.
it's too dangerous for you, maybe.
Especially at least since we were explicitly told that you need grappling guns to even get up here. That must be how they all got up here. Also, why is there a health restore thing there? When also apparently you can't enter the proper pause menu while on a ladder. When you haven't fought anything yet and you have full health, like, it's not like you come through here at any other time. Like, this is it. It's the only opportunity to exist here. It's not like there can be any other opportunity for it. It's okay, Cloud. Don't feel the need to be able to take an action. It's fine. You can just get completely destroyed without being able to move.
Looking good.
It's on you.
Anyway, there's one of them removed. And just point out that I was attacking A and B, but Barrett and Tifa were definitely both attacking C, and I feel a little annoyed at that reality. At the very least, I'm pretty sure that's why C's health was so low. Okay, let's just keep on going. Go forth.
Don't overdo it.
Flying things. You go, Barrett. Let's see. Let's look at these guys. Easy. So it's okay, Barry. You can just get knocked around. It's fine. Stupid icy aura. Okay, let's just keep going. We're gonna get rid of one of them at least. Okay, here, Cloud, you need to get in action. Or just get frozen to death. I mean,
Here we go.
that's cool too. Okay, yeah, Cloud's just gonna get himself frozen to death, so we'll have Barrett actually throw out an AoE heal.
Keep it together.
Because of the stupid icy aura that these things can cast. Like, oh my gosh, if it had just stood there, I literally couldn't move. It had me stuck in a corner. Ow. Hey Cloud, since you have enough now, can you use the power of healing prayer? Thanks. I appreciate it. I think the best way to describe the overall quality of this game is a good game with some rough edges. Like, I feel like that's a good description for it, because most of the game is really good, but it definitely does have rough edges. things where I just, you know, wish they'd put the game back in the oven for another few months of playtesting and development and fixed a couple of things.
Maybe dial it back a little?
Barrett's fine, Tifa. Anyway, up we go. We
So
continue
that's
our
where we have to
climb.
But if it comes apart while we're up there.
We've made it through worse, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a miracle we haven't been killed a dozen times over by now. It's a dead end.
Wonder if this rope belongs to search and rescue.
Think we might be able to climb up here.
Anyway, yeah,
Time for the
now
grappling
we get the
gun.
tutorial
Try
on
to
how to
get
use the
that
grappling
Screw up,
guns.
by the way. I
Just
think I see a
remember,
rope
we
hanging
can't
off the
get
top end.
And I'm still just, I don't know. The plate dropping, like, the more I think about it, the less I see real benefit to Shinra doing. Because, yeah, it gets them more political control because they now have a very dangerous enemy, but they kind of already had that. You know what I mean? Like everything I can think of that the plate dropping gives them, they already had. So the only thing it really does for them is cut into their profit margins. Because, like, let's say that, you know, even if the plate dropping had killed everyone in Avalanche, not everyone in this branch of Avalanche, not all of their enemies were here. And I think that's the fundamental problem, is it gets rid of one cell of Avalanche, but that certainly isn't all their enemies in the world. And that's a huge economic cost for what is ultimately just not enough gain. It doesn't, from a logical perspective, there's not enough gain.
Come on, we need to get inside.
There's not enough gain for this compared to the cost of, you know, the entire
Why don't we
area.
use our grappling guns to get up there? Jump over all this shit.
Not much choice.
Right, got scened again. But yeah, it's something like the more I think about it, the less it makes sense. And, like, you know, that's not something this game did. That's in the original too. Like, ow. Like the plate dropping is a major piece of the plot, so this game couldn't get rid of it. No, stupid elite officers, time to die. Okay. I really want to know why. It's something that's almost stereotypical in a lot of these kinds of games. It's enemies that just don't flinch when you attack them. And it always annoys me when they exist, because I'm like, why don't I get that? And, you know, I have to say, props to Tales of Graces for giving me a character who did have that. They had real guts in that with that game, which also that's an amazing game. I'll probably record myself playing it sometime, because honestly replaying it sounds like a lot of fun. And I never did I never did 100% it, so, you know, mainly because it's such a long process to 100% that game. I love that game to death, but it's literally hundreds of hours to truly 100% it. And that's if you can even do it alone, which I'm not confident I'm good enough at video games for that. Because one of its only major faults is that it definitely suffers from dumb allied AI, which on the normal difficulties you don't really notice. But try and beat Tales of Graces on the hardest difficulty, and you will get destroyed if you are not playing with friends. The AI just isn't smart enough. You're either Asbel v World, or you're relying on you know, you're gonna summon some friends to play that game with you. Which I don't know, I may or may not do. I know I have lots of friends who are really into playing that game, so we'll see if I end up playing it alone or not. Anyway, just get rid of some of these jerks. I would really love for Barrett to do some cool thing here, but he doesn't actually have a good response to this. So he's just gonna steal skin. Because that's the only thing he's got to deal with that. If I were playing Cloud, I could have done something there. Or if Barrett had the parry materia on, could have done something there. But it's just like, you know, Barrett just doesn't have an innate answer to that, and I didn't have the answer to it equipped. Joke's on you. I'm hard to interrupt. Let's see.
Give 'em hell.
Taking over.
But yeah, it's this weird stereotype that enemies are usually harder to interrupt than you in most games, and
They'll be coming for us now.
in most games there's no logical explanation for it, and that bothers me because like let's put it this way: even if they weren't elite soldiers at the beginning of this, my people are now level 50, have taken down a lot of ridiculous things. And at this point, there's a battle over here, isn't there? Crap, I forgot about it. I was just looking to get some MP back and heal myself. I've made a mistake.
I got this.
I hate elite helitroopers. So annoying.
Hang back.
Eat this, you jerk. There is only death. Anyway, yeah, I got them nice and trapped in a corner. If you're wondering, I don't know, probably aren't, but oh gosh darn, that ate my actions. That's annoying. Barrett, could you finish him off? Thanks. I didn't even get anything I can actually use. That's just sad. Anyway, let's just take a nice break on this bench and worry about the rest later, yeah? Sounds good. But, anyway, so what I was saying is it doesn't make logical sense for me to be less stagger resistant than them in a lot of cases. And it's not so much that I think it's bad every time it appears, but it's like everywhere in games these days. Like it's super common, and it shouldn't be. There's no reason for it to be common. Like it just there's no reason whatsoever for a significant number of enemies that I run into who are, let's remember, not enhanced in any way. These are supposed to be, you know, normal humans, same as us. The best they're wearing is armor that clearly isn't all that useful because, you know, Cloud Sword goes right through it. Even Tifa's fists are useful against it, and all she's using is blunt force. So she's not even breaking the armor. Whereas, you know, at least Cloud's sword has a sharp edge. So, you know, he could be slicing the armor. And theoretically, Barrett could be using some kind of bullets that pierce armor. But, like, even Tifa does considerable damage, and she's literally just using gloves. And she's a relatively normal human, or at least an unenhanced one. She's strong in this, but she is unenhanced at the end of the day. So, like, she is within the bounds of what humans can be in this. So these soldiers should not be more stagger resistant than her. There's no reason for them to be that way. Certainly not that we're ever given. And it's not so much that I think that the enemies shouldn't be stagger resistant. It's that, because I actually think they should. I think that's it's not necessarily a bad design decision. I'm just annoyed with how lazy writers tend to get in most live action games where they don't even give reasons for why I think they're stagger resistant. They just are. You know, they are, period. And you just have to deal with it. And there's never any internally consistent reasons for the in-universe why they are in most games. And, you know, that's always annoyed me. It's something that games that focus more heavily on being internally consistent, even when they aren't realistic, do better. And I just wish more games cared more about that. Like, take for instance, the way Dark Souls handles it. You have stats that can influence it, but usually it's more influenced by the kind of weapon that you're using, depending on the Souls game. Yeah, it depends on the game, but Tifa, you gonna get out of that? Good. Anyway, do that, get that free healing, go back to hammering it. Tifa, could you just, you know, use your abundant mana to hit it a bit? Thanks. It's really unfortunate. I was hoping that it would stagger on that last hit so that way I would get the last hit, but whatever, Maximum Fury will kill it either way. But yeah, it's a relatively minor thing, but it's something I've just noticed that a lot of games have been neglecting, is having that kind of internal consistency. Like in Dark Souls, most humanoids are very much not resistant to being interrupted. They're very much not resistant to interrupts, and when they are, it's usually because they're wearing some kind of heavy armor or some other internally consistent in the world reason, and there's very few exceptions to that. And the bigger things are if they're immune to interrupts or heavily resistant to them, then they're big and hulking and giant dragons or demons or something, you know. Like it's obvious. It's obvious why your sword is not interrupting them. And even then, they can usually still be interrupted if you deal enough damage.
Save some for later.
But that depends on the enemy and the game. Some games are more like that than others. And it's, you know, that's a really good thing, and it's something that a lot of games have been lacking. Ooh, man. I'm gonna go back to looking up. That's giving me a little bit of vertigo there. I'm with you on this, Barrett. But yeah, it's like it's a minor thing, but it's something I've been noticing as games have been I've been pushing more and more on the, you know, better graphics and bigger worlds kind of thing. Little details like that have been getting missed. And I think it's part of the reason why indie games have been so popular for the last couple of years. The last couple of years being like the last 7 or 8. That's a couple, right? Same thing. But it's because of that internal consistency. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the other enemy did in fact get defeated. Oh, thank you. I would like to decline your generous invitation to freeze to death. Strangely enough, I prefer myself unfrozen. I know, weird. I understand if you don't understand me, but I really do prefer myself to be not frozen to death at the end of the day. I like how it wasn't, its pressure didn't even last long enough for it to land. Oh, and now it's doing that. Cool. Like, look how easy I am to stagger. That's ridiculous. Like, that's how easy I am to interrupt. That an enemy using Icy Aura and doing less than a 50th of my health can just pin me against a wall by existing. Like, sure, a 50th of my health isn't that little, but like when you compare that to the kind of damage that these people take on the regular, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to the fact that they're regularly shrugging off blows that deal a 1/6 of their health or more.
That's what I call winning ugly.
That's fine. All wins are beautiful. No, you. Oh. I don't remember if I went up here before. I think I probably did. But I'll open the chest just in case. Just, you know, for completionist's sake. But there are other chests I've missed that I didn't bother getting on the second time through. But hey. Yeah, it's... A lot of bigger games have started to ignore some of the details, and it's a scope creep problem. I've talked about that in previous episodes. It's not that people were like, oh, we don't need details. It's that the scope of the project they were trying to make was so big that the amount of details they needed to handle was unmanageable. It's more of a problem of the amount of details that they were trying to handle simply isn't realistic as an amount of details that they can handle. I'm annoyed. I was hoping to get a free prey out of that, but all I did was take damage. Sad days. But yeah, so like, and that's not helped by, you know, the continuous culture that we're all aware of it can be patched later. That definitely doesn't help. But you know, I just realized that this is really, I didn't realize it the first time through, but this is similar to a little mini game that they cut out of the Shinra building. So I wonder if this was their replacement for it. Because honestly, that would kind of make sense. Ow. Ow. That's fine. See? Completely fine. Yeah, because there's a mini game in the Shinra building where you're effectively trying to avoid the sight of some guards, and I don't know how better to explain it, but yeah, you're avoiding the sight of guards, and so you're ducking behind things, kind of like that. Gosh darn it. I continue to be annoyed at Cloud's incessant at the game's incessant need to combo me. Anyway, yeah, so it's something that I wish developers would realize, that like having a really grand game is good if that's what, you know, what works for your game, but it is far more important to have in a game where the details aren't missed. Like, as far as importance goes, detail work is just more important than having a larger scope. If you have a larger scope, it's really not going to make your game better if you don't have the detail work to back it up. And really, did the AI really just have Cloud stand in that? That is the most telegraphed attack in this game. And the AI really just had Cloud kind of stand there and take it. Come on. Like, if I was controlling him and got hit by that, then yeah, that's my fault. But come on. The AI is the one that got hit by that. What am I supposed to do? Okay, good. I thought it was going to move behind the wall and I was going to be so sad. That would have just been really, really disappointing to miss just like that. Oh, hey, they got reinforcements. But, hey, the first one of them is down, so there is that. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely like it's I don't know how to express it, but it's just there's a lot of problems like that you see, that I've been seeing broadly in the gaming industry. And I think it's because like there's this disconnect, I think, with the people who are making games, where they just don't realize what it is that people want from their games. And you can tell the developers that know what people want, because they're the ones that are doing better.
I'm still kicking.
Hey Cloud, could you start cast? Did I just accidentally select Cloud for that? That was a mistake. Tifa, could you pair with that Kira? Okay, good. This time no one stood inside in the middle of the electrical discharge. Hey Tifa, go use Star Shower, because you're not gonna get any other chances to use it, since, you know, it does the whole barrier around itself thing. I don't know, it's always hard to, you know, how to put this, it's always hard to judge from the outside what the situation is internally. Like, there's not enough information to be sure, but like, you know, all we as outsiders to the gaming industry can do is say what we're seeing as the external results, right? And the external results are that while games are doing well in terms of sales numbers, there are a fair amount of companies that have been like, how to put this, 10 years ago, there was almost absolute confidence in AAA companies. Now? There's very little confidence in AAA companies comparatively. It's definitely a very different a very different mentality that most people have towards AAA companies. And it hasn't been super hard reflected in sales yet, but that's because gaming has been taking up a bigger market share. If you look at how many more people are playing games now than were even just 10 years ago, and then you look at those sales numbers, they actually start looking pretty bad. And fundamentally, it's a problem of, especially when you consider that a lot of the people who play games now are now adults, meaning that they have their right, it's that way, meaning that they have their own source of income, which means that they're spending a lot more on games because it's their main hobby, right? It's not just, oh, I'm a kid and, you know, sometimes I get games. It's, no, I'm an adult, I have money, I get games whenever I have the budget for them. It's a different reality. And it's something that when you look at it like that, suddenly the sales numbers start looking not as good. And it's not every company, obviously. Like, that is one thing I really have to say about Nintendo. Oh right, I have to run away. Can't fight it yet. Anyway, yeah, I got scened again. Now I get to fight it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Now we fight it.
Don't overdo it.
That's right, Cloud. Attract its fire. So that way Barrett can do something actually helpful. Oh. It's okay, Barrett. Just get hit repeatedly. It's fine. At least those are, you know, actual bullets, so it makes sense for them to stop Barrett. I'm annoyed at how often it gets to attack. Jeez. Did it ever stop? Why can't I? Okay then, game. That's a dead end for some reason. Alright, I can't skip it because it's scene. Anyway, here we go. Round 2, except without cover this time. Oh no, there's still cover. Oh, hey, that puts you to sleep. That's good to know. How long are you gonna nap for, Barrett? I'm just saying, you're literally taking bullets here, buddy. Maybe time to wake up.
All right. Shit.
Anyway, as much as I would love to heal Barret, like, I can't not summon Bahamut, right? Like, we have to see it. And by see it, I mean we'll see it next episode, because this episode took too long. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.